Good evening and welcome to Conversations about Jazz and Other Distractions. I'm Carl Anthony, and tonight we're celebrating love in all its dimensions through the lyrics of a song. Legend has it that Valentine's Day began as a holiday honoring the 3rd century martyr Saint Valentine, who ministered to persecuted Christians under the Roman Empire, was imprisoned, and ultimately executed for restoring the sight of his jailer's blind daughter. But prior to his execution, he sent a signed letter to her simply saying, "Your Valentine." The Pope then created the Feast of St. Valentine celebration on February 14th, the day of his death, which we celebrate to this day. Again, as legends have it, it is as early as 1400 AD, the royal court of France turned the Feast of St. Valentine into a celebration of romantic love. And that tradition spread through Europe and then was brought to America, becoming shortened to simply Valentine's Day. But before we get started with this great show, I want to introduce my guest. There's always some housekeeping we must do. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you in the audience for following, joining, and supporting these live conversations. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our many sponsors: the Fulton County Arts Council, the City of Atlanta Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, AT&T Time Warner Media, the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta, and NPN, National Performance Network, for their continued support of the Hammons House Museum, helping to make this program possible. We really have a great show for you this evening, and my guests are 3 amazing vocalists who have a long tradition of emoting a lyric of love. Please welcome Nicole Henry, Tony Hightower, and Sweet Lou Olutosin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing?
Hello, hello.
Good.
Great to have you here. You know, it's been a year, and it's been, a lot of mask wearing and sequestering and social. How have you each been dealing with it and, keep from going insane, with cabin fever?
I don't know if I've mastered from keep going insane, but not going insane. But I go in and out. It's been wild. It's been like nothing ever before in our lifetimes, and you try to just grasp that, and it's different every day. It changes. Yeah. You accept it. You forget that you have to accept it. You fight it, and then you're like, but fighting doing nothing is a tough thing to do if you're always doing something, you know what I mean? And then when you're like, all right, now what? So it's interesting. It's interesting. I think we're all learning about ourselves.
Yes. I'm with Nicole. It's really been something else, just trying to deal with, taking a pause from what you're used to doing every day, and then all of a sudden, zero. It's almost like, you being on a speeding locomotive and all of a sudden stop. So it's been something else to get used to. But, what I found is, I think in a lot of ways, even though there's a lot of talk about people's relationships declining because of not being able to be closer, I've also seen the opposite of that, whereas relationships have been strengthened because people are reaching out to each other. I know I've had conversations with friends that I hadn't seen in 10, 15 years. But because of this lockdown situation, I've been able to reconnect with them. So there's a silver lining, if you will.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. It has been a stress, and you can't be out amongst your friends as much as you have, but as much as you could have been. But the time that you share with whoever you're sharing with, you cherish it that much more. And it's like quality over quantity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think so many people have gotten closer in this time. It's actually, it's sucked, but I think it's been a blessing for the world, honestly. You know what I mean?
Well, the one thing we find out is how much we don't need.
Exactly.
How much money
Truly.
Because we haven't been able to go out and spend.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know I've been reading a lot more.
Oh, yes.
And watching a lot of movies that I missed over the years, so
Nice.
and then of course doing this show, it keeps me busy.
Keeps you going. There we go.
So we found different ways to make all of this work.
Yes. And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we don't go out as much as we would, but I do have one constant in Atlanta for me. I go to a jazz jam, and it's small, it's open air. But I get a little feel. I get my kicks. It's a jazz jam. It's an open jam session, and I do that every Monday. So and that's been something that's helped me stay sane.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that. I don't think we have anything like that I know of yet in Miami, as far as like a good outdoor jam session. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Good idea.
All right, we're going to kick this one off with a song that has been associated with this day for so many years, but really has nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
And we'll talk about it a little bit after we listen to a little bit of My Funny Valentine, which has been recorded over 1,300 times by more than 600.
1,300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be Gordon.
Right.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open it to speak, are you
Beautiful.
What album is that from?
Care for me. Stay, little while.
Okay. I'm not sure what album. I think it's from one of her greatest hits albums.
Okay.
But that was written by Lorenz Hart.
Right.
For a film, for a Broadway play called Babes in Arms.
Babe, yeah.
And what folks don't know is Valentine was the character in the play, and ironically, it wasn't his original name. They changed the character's name to Valentine to match the song. And his love interest Billy was telling him, like, basically, you ain't the handsomest guy in the world, but don't change nothing. I like it.
I like it just like that. Right.
When it works, it works.
Exactly.
When it works,
you're just right for me. You may not be just right, but you're just right for me.
For me, exactly.
So leave it alone. Don't try to fix it.
Right. It's so funny. It's so funny, like hearing people, like when we go to jazz jam sessions, that's one of the songs that you always hear.
Always, yeah.
Or when it's a love night you know, a lot of people sing that song just because it has the word Valentine in it, but it's like, are you really listening to the lyrics? Do you really want to say that?
Right, exactly. Is that what your dude is? Is that what you look like? Fun.
Yeah.
But
So
Sarah can sing the heck out of anything.
Oh my!
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
Anything.
yeah. She's just. I mean, all of them can. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my first question is, how do you define love?
How do you define
fuzzy.
love?
Yeah, that's really that's probably the $1 million question. You got people that
I would think it has so many different definitions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, look, for you, like
for are we talking about romantic love? Because I mean, we got so many different. You know, what are we talking about?
Well, the thing is that feeling kind of transposes all of the the platonic. I mean, the platonic relationship, the love relationship. Love is love.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I love you like a brother. I love you like a sister. I love you like a love interest. I love you as my lady. I love I mean,
I think love is warm. Love is warmth. When you feel something in your heart for someone, it could be fuzzy, it could be just warm. Because like when you see somebody, there's a part of your heart that gets warm, and there's different parts of your heart.
That's true.
So I would say love is warm. Can't be hot though. We're not opposed to the hot part.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely at least warm.
It has so many characteristics, though. I mean, you can. The one thing that I think of when I think of love is strength, power, because when you're really feeling that love, I don't care if it's a mother's love, I don't care if it's a brother's love, a grandfather's love, or a lover's love. When you feel it, you feel power, you feel strength. Now, you can feel less strength and less power, and that sometimes means that you don't have as much love for that person, or that much love is not necessarily being expressed to you. But it doesn't mean that's not love. So I think love means to me strength, power, commitment. That's where that's where you're going to be.
So what just came into my mind is when it evokes empathy. From wherever, like if it's me loving a woman, if I'm empathetic, if I want to make her feel good, if I don't want to hurt her, or or my friend that I don't want to hurt, or don't or I want to show that, hey man, I love you, bro. You know what I mean? Or a dog, or animal. You know what I'm saying? That's love.
Still is real. Yes, it's still real.
Yeah. Like if it evokes empathy, then I mean, if it makes you feel, empathy for whatever that entity is, then that's love. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe that's it.
I think love is almost everything, because like I'm like thinking of all these adjectives. I mean, love is like it makes you confident. It makes you, proud to feel. You know what I mean? Like there's something about love. It's just like, oh, I'm so glad I reconnected with this feeling of strength. Like you said, when you said strength, Lou, it was like all of a sudden I felt like this, like you're armed. You know what I mean? With but like with like just proud of feeling. You know what I mean? Proud to feel something so powerful.
Yeah. I dig that.
You're allowing yourself.
Yeah, I did that.
That's cool.
Well, it's also, in my mind, happy. So we're gonna definitely start off with Nicole's choice. Happiness is a thing called Joe. And why did you pick that song?
Well, some of my favorite lyrics in that song is but does he love me good? That's all I want to know. Or does it's just a feeling, and it's not. I mean, it could be everything from loving you good, meaning like when you hear him call your name, you can feel the love, to when he just hugs you and puts his hands in the right part of your back, or love making, or just comforting you when you are feeling weak or something. There's just this. Happiness is just a thing called Joe, and that just gives another name to it. It's almost like Valentine. It's like it gives it a name, but Joe, it's like it's more of like a common thing. So it makes you accept love for whatever form it's in, and it's like it's just a solid rock. Yeah,
beautiful.
I hear that.
So we're gonna take a listen to that, and we'll be back.
All right.
And Nancy. Oof.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She's the
Oh,
best. She's the best.
Ain't
Oh,
nothing
class act.
Man.
Listen to this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Happiness is just a thing called Joe.
Mm.
Oof.
He's got a smile that makes the lights wanna groove.
Come on now. Sing.
He's got a way that makes angels sigh.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
When they know
Uh-huh.
my little Joe, he's passing by. Sometimes the cabin's gloomy and the table's bare. But then he'll kiss me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
I feel you, Nicole.
There's nothing like Nancy Wilson.
No.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
There's nothing
Not
like
at
it.
all.
Yeah. I mean, I
She's
hosted
like
her at Chastain with Freddie Cole.
Mm.
Yeah.
I could have retired after that concert.
I'm sure you could
I was
have.
like,
Top of the mountaintop, right?
I can imagine.
You know, she has a way. I mean, I followed her up and down the East Coast in the 70s. Anytime I could get to her,
Yeah.
she just has a way of just.
She stands alone.
Feel good. Oh, she does.
So classy.
She does. It's exactly like she exudes that that you know for the new school that she's like Claire Huxtable that can sing. You know what I mean?
and at the same time a little bit of Cicely Tyson.
Exactly, all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Oof.
And
Absolutely.
I think everybody picked one Nancy Wilson. I had to go to somebody else. I was like, okay, there's too much Nancy here. You know, as much as I love her,
I love it.
We got to spread it around a little bit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I'm actually working on a Nancy Wilson tribute album.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that in advance.
Can't
Yes.
wait to hear it.
I'm
Yes.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's a challenge, but I'm excited.
Now, Yip Yarberg composed those lyrics, and it was written for the 1943 film Cabin in the Sky. So if you have not seen it, you definitely got to check that one out. It's a
Cabin
great
in the
film.
Sky.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it was actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song. So, you know.
Powerful.
The next choice is from Lou, who gave us My One and Only Love. You know,
that was
and
an
I really hate to, you know, to shorten it, but you know, Coltrane
yes.
You know, he added so much, but you know, again, we're about the lyrics this go round. So you know,
that was tough.
We're gonna have to revisit this. You know?
Fully understand that one.
The very thought of you makes my heart sing. Like an April breeze on the wings of spring, and you were in all your splendor.
That Johnny Hartman, boy.
Yeah, I love Johnny Hartman.
Man, he was something else.
Yes.
The shadows fall and spread their mystic charm in the hush of night while you're in my arms.
Sing that thing, man.
I feel your lips so warm and
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
my one and only love.
Yes.
The touch of your hand is like heaven,
Mm-hmm.
a heaven that I've never known.
Yes.
The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me.
Yes,
See,
sir.
that goes directly to what you were saying, Nicole. You know, that
Oof.
when that man touches you, or when that
Yep.
woman touches that arm in the right place at the
Come on
right
now.
time, and it's like,
Right.
ooh,
She your piece.
You already know.
Ooh.
You already know.
That's it. She can become your piece. She or he can become your piece.
yes,
Like
That's
from
it.
your day, from that day or
Mm.
whatever. Like when you like feel like you're ready to turn everything over, and that stroke
Wow.
or that
And
touch
all of a
is
sudden,
you know what I mean? You know,
yep,
okay, it's all right. It's
yep.
okay.
Wow.
Turn daylight
Wow.
into night. Yeah.
Yeah.
and again, you know what we were saying, it can come from a friend.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't have to be
Absolutely.
a
Absolutely.
lover. You
True.
know, it's just
Absolutely.
that
Very
person
true.
that you know sees that aura around you and just walks up and lays that hand on you, and you're like,
Yes.
oh Jesus,
Needed
thank you.
Right.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I needed that. You
Yeah.
know, it just comes up and
Nice.
hugs you. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and that can be your one and only love.
Yeah.
You know,
Very true.
it's that
Yeah.
friendship that you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about the other kind of love, but you can think about that.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
and I was gonna say, Carl. I was gonna Carl. Look,
It's
I was gonna say,
fun.
I said now my one and only. Now it might be, bro. I appreciate it. I needed that love, but you can't be the only one, John.
No.
I gotta go.
Yeah. Like, get on out of here, man. Is that?
I'm with you. I'm with you, Carl.
I get it though. Yeah, we with you.
And I got to thank you for that, Lou, because it's like
Beautiful.
you said, Hartman,
Oh,
you know,
Man.
so underrated.
totally.
Mhm.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
nobody mentions him. When you
Right.
think
You
of
know
him.
what?
That's so
His
true.
version.
I'm so glad that's
So I did a version of Nature Boy, and it was from it was definitely, you know, he did a version of Nature Boy,
Right.
and so I had been listening to his, and then and
Okay.
it inspired me to do it. I did my take on it, but it was after listening. I had heard it many times before, but his is what inspired me to do it.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's so unique because that's exactly the deal with that particular version of My One and Only Love. So many people have done it, but until you hear Coltrane lay it down first and then Hartman follow him,
Beautiful.
it's almost like, man, it's like one chapter in an encyclopedia is just opened up, and then here's another one inside the encyclopedia you're already in.
Exactly.
It's,
Exactly.
Man, it's something
Right.
else.
Yep.
And he
Beautiful.
was the only vocalist that Coltrane ever recorded with.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I never knew that.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't realize
I
that.
never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
What does that
huge.
say?
That's
What does
a lot.
that say?
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
Everything.
Yeah.
So Tony,
Everything.
set up the
Yeah.
next one for us. Fly.
Oh yeah, like Al Jarreau, man.
My man.
So and listening to, I mean, well, like so, I'll paint the picture for you. It's being in my mom's living room. Well, when I lived with my mother, and on a Saturday, waking up, or either, you know, soon after I got up, I would hear the tunes of all these great musicians, but this one was one I would hear all the time. The All Fly Home album, and one of my favorite records off of that record is called Fly.
Yes, sir.
We'll find a way to put some sweetness in joy in every day. I really wanna see you fly, touch the sky. I wanna rip the laughter with the river, give it each time. Keep you happy. I bet you we can do a little bit the blues away. See the pretty lily, girl. It doesn't worry about its beauty.
Come on.
Pretty butterfly, kiss the sky. Whatever you are after, you've been given. There's no wonder why that pretty mama you found to be happy.
Come on.
Don't be happy.
2, 3, 5.
When you sing to your pretty prayer, with your vision dreams clear, you can cook and stand and the stylish prayer go with some I can stand and I see you fly. Come on, let me see you fly to your head. Come on, let me see you fly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I had forgotten about that.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Just woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vocal dexterity.
Oh,
you know,
man.
like you know, him, his phrasing with all of that stuff. You know, like it's just beautiful, man. I love it.
And he won a Grammy for that.
I'm sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
was like out the gate.
Man.
All right, now, I'm gonna take it to another direction here.
Okay.
Now, this is a little Houston person, Etta Jones.
Woo, Houston.
And
Yeah.
you know, this is one of those songs that was originally sung by O.C. Smith.
Mm.
Okay. And it clears the air, you know, and lets the person know exactly what's going on when he says, "Don't misunderstand."
I love this song.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take a little listen to this and these lyrics. You know,
If Mr. Jones did it, you already know.
And Nancy.
Woo. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Don't misunderstand. We are only strangers. On our way to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Someone else.
To someplace
That's it.
we forgot. Don't mistake my smile. It just means I'm lonely. So love me till this day has passed, and then forget we met. We're just stealing time in some secret place. Yielding to a soft wet day, to love and love, love the pain away.
Beautiful.
Don't misunderstand.
Beautiful.
Oh, man, that woman's voice there.
Yeah.
I know.
my God.
Etta Jones.
Oh, it's just so
It's rich.
oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
it's
from
wealthy.
somewhere else.
Now, that song was written by Gordon Parks.
Oh,
Yes. And
the
for
one.
me, that's the one night stand song.
Don't misunderstand it.
Right. We strangers.
Hey.
After we're done, just forget. You know?
That is it. You are absolutely right.
So be clear, this is not going to be a long-term operation here. You know
that in today's terms, it would be don't get it twisted.
Exactly. So the question now is, on that note, with all this internet hookup, has romance and courting disappeared?
It has a lot. I think it has, honestly. It's so unfortunate. People don't even know how to do that now. And being, I'm not as young as I once was, but I think I'm right in the middle. And I've watched it from what I knew courting was supposed to be, and watched it become what it is now. And it's like they don't even, it's like it's not like you said, this you got these apps where you're just in the vicinity and people just hook up. You know what I mean? And
but I do think I would agree with you based on what I've understood. But I do think it just challenges us to behave the way that we want to be treated. You know what I mean? And just sacrifice the quick thing. Let go. Just at a certain point, it just gets old, or it just gets tired. So it's just like. But if you want to love and you want to find somebody, you gotta now more than ever, you have to decide that that's what you want and not give up. You know what I mean? I think, because I think for years I was just like, why bother? What am I going to be happy with? Has anybody stepped to me that I'm really in love with, or whatever it is? And you just, you got to feel it. You got to want it.
Yeah.
Right.
And be intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the whole thing of, and this was before. I mean, like I think during my era, it was happening. I mean, when I first started dating, it was happening where people weren't dating with intention anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it started becoming less and less, to where now people are not dating with intention. Like it's like, it's about sex. Like before, the intent, it was dating to get married, dating to be a couple, and that has changed. I mean, I and I suffered from that, and now I'm in a different position in my life where it's like, okay, what do I want? I want marriage. I want kids. I want this and that. You know what I mean? If that's what I want, I have to date that way. If I'm not, I'm wasting my time and hers. You know what I'm saying?
What about you, Lou? Carl?
Well,
I'll sit in there.
I completely agree that courtship has gone. I do agree that there's far less of it than there ever was in the past. But what I've come to recognize is there's now little pockets. There's little small populations that seem to be continuing something close to our traditional family values, but they're like tucked away in the corner somewhere. They're overshadowed by all the bling and all the noise that everybody's making. Yet now that small population hasn't abandoned the ways of, our fathers and grandfathers, because, and get it here, because they've been instructed by people who continue those ways. But it's a small population. And if you think about it, that population, how do they now mingle with the population you're talking about, Tony, where it's, dating without intention? They're lost. It's almost like oil and water. So you're not going to see them as long as you're in the dating with intention crowd. But if you join the let's stay on the old time religion crowd, they'd be welcome to have. They would be glad to have you. But it's like you don't have a foot in one and a foot in the other. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. But it's a. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think about my 20s.
Tell the stories.
Part of the deal was the chase. And there was some of those, hookups, but for the most part, women, you had to chase a woman, you know, and that involved the whole courting. You know, you had to take her out, you had to get to know her, you had to, you know, it wasn't, you know, you weren't jumping in the bed immediately, you know. But now they had to make sure that you weren't crazy, and we had to make sure they weren't crazy. You know,
absolutely.
There was some kind of fit. You know, so it. You know, and I enjoyed dinners. I enjoyed going to the movies. I enjoyed walking in the park, and you know, that was all a part of that process. That, like you said, is gone now with these apps. It's like, oh, I like the way he looks. Yeah, let's hook up. Boom.
People just like that.
I don't even know who you are.
People don't even people don't even know if they were put in a room together, they wouldn't even know how to be.
Right.
They wouldn't even know how to operate.
Because there's been no conversation. There's no kind of rapport. It's just let's do this physical thing. I get mine, you get yours, you know, back.
And we're done. And, and don't misunderstand. This is all
Okay.
So now let's move on to the next phase.
Okay.
And Nicole chose Like a Lover, which is one of my favorite songs.
Well, Andy,
yeah, I mean, Andy tore it up. You know. Nicole, I am so proud of you. Pulling Andy out the woodwork.
I love.
You know,
I had a chance to see him a couple years ago at Mesro.
Oh my God,
man!
Yeah, he puts on a show. He does.
Yeah, that brother
commands a stage.
Yes.
Like a lover of the morning sun, slowly rises and kisses you awake. Your smile is soft and drowsy as you let it play upon your face. Oh, how I dream I might be like the morning sun to you.
Beautiful.
How I envy the cup that knows your lips. Let it be me. And the table that fills your fingertips. Let it be me. Let me be your love, bringing into the endless days and nights without you. Like a lover.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you chills.
Oh, yeah.
He's telling a story.
Yeah.
Telling a story.
Absolutely, man.
Believe it or not, I'm speechless, if you can believe that. Just nothing to say.
With good reason, Nicole. With good reason.
Yeah. I mean, the song says it all. I envy your lips touch the glass.
I wish I was the cup, you know.
Oh my God.
It knows your lips. But letting your smile linger as it plays upon your face, let me be like the sun to you. I mean, really? I mean, wow.
Yeah.
But that's Brazilians.
Oh,
yeah.
I was wondering who. So did Sergio write the lyrics to the English lyrics to that too?
No.
Who did
you ready for this? Two of my favorite lyricists, Alan and Marilyn Bergman.
Of course.
Oh my God. I mean, but you know, Nelson Mata and Dori Kayami actually wrote the song.
Okay.
Two fabulous Brazilian artists and lyricists that, you know, they just have a way of looking at the world and looking at life so differently than Americans. It's almost like, foreign films, have a whole different slant on life than Hollywood does. We're going back to Al Jarreau, this time with George Benson. Lou, this has a special...
this one does. So this particular song here, I was, first of all, really blown away just to hear and see Al Jarreau and George Benson together. When they combined, I was like, oh my God. And
that CD,
CD. But one song in particular that really just cut my heart out was one that George did, and the setup was a very simple song. And after hearing it a few times, I was like, man, I have to make this song part of my repertoire. Of course I did. And interestingly, I was living in DC and had some gigs here in Atlanta. So I came back to do the gigs, and I was seeing a young lady at the time that she was giving me attention, but she was kind of keeping me, she was part of that population we talked about a little bit earlier. She was keeping me at arm's distance, So I invited her to the show. She came out to the show. She had never heard me perform. And this particular song was one of the songs that I did. And when I began the song, there were several ladies in the audience that really, really, really appreciated the song.
Wait, say it again. Sweet Lou.
Hi, Teddy. Hi, Teddy. Yeah, they're throwing stuff at you. Where they live?
But so my who happens to now be my wife, she was at the show, and she saw this reaction that all the ladies were giving to me as I sang the song. Now, I mentioned that she had been treating me at arm's distance. That all went away. It went from arm's distance to hand inside a glove action, and and the rest is history. But it was all because of this one song, and the lyrics are just so crazy that they make you melt. And it's called "All I Am."
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Don't know the right words to say. I'm not magic. Don't hold the world in my hand.
Come on.
Wish I could fly through the air like a hero. But I'm just someone who loves you. That's all I am.
Beautiful.
Wish I could take you away to a palace, make you the queen of the land. All the riches and gold, I don't have them. The one who loves you, that's all I am.
Yes, sir.
Love that is pure and sacred. I have all you need. And with you, that's everything.
Beautiful.
To me. So I'll cherish the moment.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Okay,
That's my
Nicole,
first time hearing that.
To scoop you up off the floor now, Nicole.
Seriously? Lou, you did good. That was good.
That's a beautiful song.
That's a good one. Definitely.
Thank you. My wife Kathy thinks so too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful song.
I mean, lyrics is so important.
Oh my goodness.
It's everything. It's everything.
You know what? I used to debate with my mom about that so much. Because I'm a melody man first, because I mean, how many songs do we know, or how many jingles do we know that we don't know what they're talking about, or because really the melody. I would debate with her a lot about it's about the melody, but what makes a great song something magical is when you can pair great melody with, you know, with real strong lyrics. Then you have something that's like substantial. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
And it's simple. I mean, you know, the orchestration was like minimal. So, you know, and great singers can do that with little bit of music behind them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, we're headed to the downside of relationships now. And we're moving back to Miss Nancy. This is one of Tony's selections, and you know,
ooh, which one? I was excited.
This is where I truly understood the art of storytelling.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and this is Guess Who I Saw Today.
Yeah,
you know, which
beautiful song.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Set up. Oh my God.
And she tells it so well. She puts you in that little place.
Yeah.
You're so late getting home from the office. Did you miss your train? Were you caught in the rain? No, don't bother to explain.
Come on now. Can I what?
Can I fix you a quick martini? As a matter of fact, I'll have one with you. For to tell you the truth, I've had quite a day too. Guess who I saw today, my dear? I went in town to shop around for something new.
Yeah.
And thought I'd stop and have a bite when I was through. I looked around for someplace near, and it occurred to me where I had parked the car. There was a most attractive French cafe and bar.
It really wasn't.
It really wasn't very far. The waiter showed me to a dark, secluded corner. And as my eyes became accustomed to the gloom, I saw two people at the bar who were so in love.
Clearly.
Even I could spot it clear across the room.
You know, beautiful.
Woo, Nancy Wilson.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
That woman right there.
I don't know who wrote that though. Who wrote that?
That was written by Elise Boyd.
Okay.
A woman wrote that.
Right.
And, Murray Grand put the music to it. And it was written for a Broadway musical review called New Faces of 1952. And, you know, clearly, you know, when she said, never mind, don't even try to explain it. You know you called.
Yeah. You should have just turned around.
Yeah, don't even put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah. I know, I already know.
Exactly. You know, and if you didn't pick up on it, let me tell you exactly how I found out.
Let me break it down for you.
You thought you was being slick.
Yeah.
But I'm oil.
Right. So now we go back to my favorite lyricist, Alan and Marilyn Bergman.
Oh, thank you.
Along with Johnny Mandel. An interesting story about this that I heard. I don't know how true it is, but it's a story I heard that their friends were asking them, when did they get divorced? And why are they still together? And they were like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, you wrote this song, and how do you know this stuff? And they were like, well, we looked at our friends' divorces and what they went through.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Right?
A master class.
So, yeah, it was like a master class. So this is Tony Bennett singing
I love
Where
Tony.
Did We Start?
Oh,
yeah, I love Tony Bennett. Man, that
what a song.
Where do you start? How do you separate the present from the past? How do you deal with all the things you thought would last that didn't last? With bits of memories scattered here and there, I look around and don't know where to start. Which books are yours? Which tapes and dreams belong to you, and which are mine? Our lives are tangled like the branches of a vine that intertwine. So many habits that we'll have to break, and yesterdays we'll have to take apart. One day there'll be a song or something.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful. Man,
Yeah.
That songwriting team, but that's just deep.
And it makes so much sense. Somebody who's been together for so long, you forget who bought what, who brought what into the house. Was
because it all merges
together.
So because you buy stuff together. So I've got one of the questions is, what is the best gift of love you've ever given or received?
Ooh.
Best gift of love.
Okay, while y'all
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say probably. I would say either a letter, like a card, with a beautiful statement and some nice handwritten words. Or one time, I do remember getting a mixtape that I loved in 1996. That I still have some of my. But I hate to say that. I don't know what. I don't know. You just try to give love every day, but with somebody that you love. But I don't know if I've given the best gift of love. You know what I mean? Like maybe something to my mother. Like words to her or something that I've said to her.
I hear that.
But not a physical thing so much.
Yeah, I think I would echo what you just said. The best gift of love that I've ever given. I mean, I got some more life to live, but I would think it was like the love to my mother. Me and my mom were, Carl, you know this, but me and my mom were like really, really close. And watching her deteriorate. Well, I didn't watch it for as long as some people do, but just, I guess, giving all I could give. If I could have traded spots, I would have. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's making me emotional, but that's it.
Lou?
Wow.
Get that.
And it's really crazy that I end up having to come in a similar way, because when I look at what I've given, the only thing, there's there was a time when I come from a large family. My mom, for Mother's Day, I actually sat down and wrote, I guess I must have poured my heart out and told her about how much she meant to not just me, but to my siblings coming up and everything she'd endured. And of course, you do that from time to time. But my mom to this day she put it in a frame and it's hanging on her door. As soon as you walk in the house, it's right there. So every time I see it, then I know it must have really meant something to her. Now, it meant something to me to share it, but once I shared it, well, it was over with. I'm off to whatever was next, But it meant something to her because it's on her wall and I see it every day.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I gave a lady I was dating a day of surprises. So the only thing she knew was she had to go to breakfast. And I told her where she had to go. And every stop that she made, I'd already set it up that somebody was to hand her an envelope. On the next destination.
Oh, so you a player? Okay, this is player stuff.
Tony,
I got my notebook out. I got my notebook out, Carl.
Memo number 1.
So I'm taking that.
It was mani-pedi.
Oh yeah, you did. You laid it out, man. You laid it out.
Shopping.
Yes.
And she spent the whole day and then had to meet me at a restaurant.
Yeah.
In the evening for dinner.
Yeah.
People are still trying to measure up to you, I guarantee you.
Wow.
If you guys aren't together today, they are still measured by that. I guarantee it. I guarantee you that.
You're right.
I
Carl used to.
I guarantee that.
That's great. Carl used to.
Everything.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
that's cute.
You did it, Carl. You did it.
I would dare to say you are the one that got away.
There you go.
Because every man and every woman has somebody, like if they didn't live life with, they have someone that you kind of, even though you're trying to give everybody an even, you're still measuring them to that person or somebody, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of gesture and that kind of love, I mean, I would imagine anyway. She's you are the bar.
She still talked about that one. She still talked about that one.
Right? She's like, I made this one mistake in my life.
She's like, Carl.
The thing is that, even with that, we sometimes end up being knuckleheads too.
Absolutely.
So it's not all on them.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to take responsibility for my foolishness. Because it's a two-way street.
It is
absolutely.
And stay tuned. That's part 2 of the show. Come on, Carl. Break it down.
Age and wisdom gets us through it, though.
Yes.
We see our mistakes, and we,
as long as we keep learning.
We learn.
Keep learning. That's it.
That's right.
And we throw that stuff out the window.
Right.
That's right.
Move on.
So, Tony.
Yes, sir.
You wrote a song.
Yes, I did.
Called. You got to tell me what it's called.
All belongs to you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
My apologies.
That's a good title too. My apologies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I mean, the thing is that, before we get into that song, there's we could go on for hours with this. There's so many songs that we have not played. Kevin Mahogany's "I Apologize." May I Come In? Where he's trying to, or she's trying to, like get in the door. Like, I know I messed up, but I'm here, and
Yes.
And that's a part of the love process too.
Absolutely.
Do we take the person back? Is the trust broken? Is the friendship cracked? You know, because you know, friendship, love messes up too. You know, you cross the line, it's done. I'm through with you. You know, you knew where my line was, and as long as you stayed on the other side and did it to other people, we were cool.
Everything was cool.
You know, once you do it to me, though, I got the role.
It's a wrap.
There's just so many songs and so many different facets of love that you know we don't have time to cover, but. I liked the song that you wrote, so we're going to take a listen to it and see what's up.
Okay, cool beans.
Okay, you better go ahead with that picture.
Tony Hightower.
All my loving, all my time,
yeah, man,
and all that I can do, and all the love I have inside, all belong to you. All my kisses, all my mind, and all my body too, and all the things your heart desires, all belong to you.
Yes.
The way you kiss me, that enchanting glare, that look that says you can't resist me. And you're right, that's why I'll always be here. And all
man.
Needs, all I cares, and all the I love you, and all the darling lonely days, all belong to you.
Woo! Yeah, man.
Tony, nice, Tony.
Tony, that's rocking, man. That's rocking.
That is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And
love that orchestration.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
Yeah. So anybody out there listening who has not heard Tony Hightower sing, you definitely want to do that next time he's out there performing. And you know, I wanted to give you a little taste of his voice so that you know what he sounds like.
Fabulous.
We're gonna go next to Lou.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And play a little bit of Every Day I Fall in Love.
Oh, okay. That's a good, beautiful Valentine's
I like that one. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Again, Irving Cahill, Sammy Fain wrote it.
Sammy Fain.
You know, Cahill wrote the lyrics, and he died at 38.
Wow.
38.
Young.
Jesus.
He was young.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he also penned the lyrics to "I'll Be Seeing You." He's written a few songs that
heavyweight jazz. Wow.
Are in that Great American Songbook.
Absolutely.
Pretty special.
So again, for those of you who've not seen Sweet Lou, this is a bit of him.
Okay. Yes, Lou.
Okay. A little bit of something, you know.
You better.
Every day I'll fall in love all over again with you. I'll never let our love grow old. I'll always keep it new. Every day I'll let you know that my Valentine is you. We'll live the sweetest story told, like honeymooners do. And each and everything I do, I will do to prove to you that romance never will die. It may be a word or a sigh, or some gift that I'll bring. And as the years go by, every day I'll fall in love all over again with you.
Yeah. Sing, Lou.
Thank you, brother.
I'll never let our love grow old. I'll always keep it new.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you picked a
What's
good
the
one
name of
there.
that album?
Yes.
That was 2014. I did that album.
Sweet Lou's Blues.
Sweet Lou's Blues. Thank you, sister.
I gotta go there for that. Yes, I need to keep that whole. Yes, beautiful arrangement song. I'd never heard that song.
Oh, Joe Williams did it, and I had to.
Yeah, that's usually the thing. You have to do a song.
Yeah, you have to.
There's so many songs you can sing, but when you have to do a song, you have to. And that was wonderful.
Thank
you.
you.
Have to do that. Nice.
Thank you, sister.
Nice.
Now, you got to save the best for last.
Yes, come on with it.
And this is one of my favorite songs. And this is actually the song that introduced me to you, Nicole, from your album, The Very Thought of You. Gentlemen, when you see the album cover, you'll understand why.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, I hadn't heard a word, not a note. The cover is what grabbed me.
Had to have it.
Like, I got to put this on. This has to be good. And I don't mean to make you blush, Nicole, but I got to keep it real, And this is the Alan Brandt, Bob Hames tune that was written in 1952. Nat King Cole first recorded it in 1953, and it's called "That's All."
Woo! I see.
I can only get love forever, and a promise to be near each time you come. And the only heart I own is for you and you alone. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
I can only give you country walks in springtime.
Singer.
And a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall. And a love whose burning light will warm the winter's night. That's all. That's all. There are those, I am sure,
Okay,
who have told you they would give you the world for a toy. But all I have are these arms to enfold you, and a love that time won't destroy. So if you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you adore, for now and evermore. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Nicole, that's
beautiful.
kicking, girl.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Swinging in the middle and everything. Okay.
And with that, now I can hear what I hear in your speaking voice, that sultry undertone. It's like it's,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in there. Beautiful, Nicole. I really like that.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead, Carl. Thanks for picking that one. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's one of my favorite songs. It's been done by a lot of different people, but
you put your stink on that, though.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
You know, and it says it's a courting song.
Yeah,
You know,
it truly is.
There it is.
That's nice. That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, it's
I can
all the
promise
things
you
you
the world.
do, you know, during that courting period, and you know, keeping that relationship alive.
Yeah.
And you know, you saying it out front. This is all I can do for you. So if you want anything else, you gotta go somewhere else. But this is what I can do for you. So if you can sign up for this, it's a done deal.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So before we call this a night, I want to know, what song do you put on to set the mood?
Oof.
Well, you can put on anything Teddy Pendergrass, but
You
it's not
too.
jazz per se.
No. We set the mood.
Mm.
You know what? Okay. So to kind of like go in that vein,
No,
I can't
right.
like
Go ahead, go ahead.
to go in that vein. Like, so there was this like, so I anything. Well, I won't say anything because well I can say anything because I didn't know what they were saying. But no, like I fell in love with bossa nova. Like so
Yeah.
like and of course we all know Joe
Too
Bean,
smooth.
but there's so many. Then I got hip to Alcyone and like all these different, you know, and like so that kind of music just
Okay, I got you.
exudes sensual, sexual vibes, you know. So I would play that stuff all the time.
That's a good. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying that's definitely a good feeling to start off with, you know, or keep going. Yes.
Or to finish, huh?
All right.
There you go. Beginning, middle, end. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, Lou.
well, me, Al Jarreau was always going to do it for me. Always.
Okay.
And there's so much you can choose from, you know, depending on how you want to set the atmosphere and the ambiance. But, you know, some of his stuff, one thing that always really takes me right where I need to go, and it may sound a little weird, but it's a tune called Alonzo that he did. And he's talking about relationships, but it's not man-woman relationships. It's relationships in general, mostly, you know, but just the whole way he brings it all together. And he says at the end, Alonzo lifted up his head and he prayed, you know, and it may be a little bit risque, but there are practices that incorporate prayer into sexual intercourse. I'm just
right,
and it's not something that's bad. It's just a practice. And if you can think of the communion of all of that, just mentally coming to the point where you can put all that together in the same space.
That's deep.
Oh, you're someplace else.
Way deep.
Yeah.
Way deep.
All right.
Wow.
Arthur Prysock.
Oh,
this is my beloved.
Man, yeah, that's a good one. Everything from lowbrow commercials to, oh man, that man was something else, man. God.
Wow, forgot about that.
That album, I would put that album on and just let him talk. You know,
that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Narrate that book, and it was like, yeah. Then I throw on some Delphonics. And,
yeah. Right. So Marvin, one of my favorite records is Marvin's the "I Want You" album. I feel like that was that one for me. The "I Want You" album, that is just like, I mean, he has so many hits, but that's my favorite. You know, "Come Live With Me" and all that stuff. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, we got to call this one. You know, Nicole, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us.
What a great time. What a great time. I'm down to celebrate love anytime, especially if you're
right.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
But
Tony?
for me, the album, I forgot to say my album because I was overthinking it. But I would say any of those Nancy Wilson 1967 to 1968. So if I could just shake them up and pick them. But either Lush Life or
Lush Life,
But Beautiful, or the one with But Beautiful in there. I can't with the we had one earlier.
And she told me Lush Life was her favorite album.
That's right.
Really?
That's exactly right.
Her favorite album that she recorded. Lush Life.
Wow.
That's what she said.
That was one of my mom's favorites too. Man.
I mean, Over the Rainbow. Have we stayed too long at the fair?
Oh man, yeah.
That woman just continues to give me chills.
Yes.
Oh,
that's all I can
something
say.
else. Something else.
Well, thank you for having me, Carl. And you have to forgive me. I'm in Jamaica right now, so I have all my little frogs out the window that just are making that little.
That's frogs.
Those cute little.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was trying to mute myself as much
the little singing frogs. Okay.
Now that we know
that's a great
whole new ambiance to it.
There we go. That's a great place to be right now too.
No, I'm kidding. That was bad. Yes, for sure.
Cool beans.
Thank you. Great to hang with you guys, Tony and Sweet Lou. Thank you. Can't wait to dig into your albums.
Absolutely.
Same here. The same here. Same here.
Appreciate you, Carl.
I want to thank you for Nicole Henry, Sweet Lou Olutosin, and Tony Hightower for hanging out with me this evening. It's been an honor having you on this show and sharing your wisdom and your perspectives on love. I want to thank my producer extraordinaire, Robbie Wyndham, our marketing guru, Karen Hatchett, for always doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Hammond's House Museum, the Fulton County Arts Council, the City of Atlanta's Mayor Office of Cultural Affairs, AT&T Time Warner Media, the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta, and NPN, the National Performance Network, without whom this show would not be possible. Last but never the least, I thank you, our audience, for your continued support. So remain vigilant in wearing your masks and social distancing, and we'll see you every second and fourth Thursday on HHM Digital for another conversation about jazz and other distractions. Good evening.